Dr. Angela Herbert, MBE, chair of the VCPB, and I'm sure she'll tell you about that when she comes up. Give her a hand.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you so much again, Yvette, for inviting me. It's Yvette's fault if you don't like what I've said by the end of this session. And you're going to have to do that, because you've been on point today telling people to come off. So. I have a prop. I always like to have a prop, because then if you get bored of looking at me, then you can look at the props. So, could you... This is my assistant, Alison, please. Thank you. Give her a round of applause. Okay. So I'm... I'm just going to move this over. So I'm chair of the Violent Crime Prevention Board, which was launched on the 26th of September last year. We celebrated 1 year on last week. And so lots of different people came, and it was, when I say celebrate, we actually marked the 1 year. And I'm going to explain about the VCP in a minute, but can everyone see this? Yeah. Yes? This is a mug, and someone brought it back for me from St. Lucia. I can't remember who it was, but I did something with it the other day for the purpose of this presentation. I put a hammer to it, and I took off the handle. And the reason I had to use a hammer is because my children are grown. They no longer break up my crockery. So, yes, you did. My daughter's there. Yes, you did. So here, you can actually put that down for now. So here is the cup. You may or may not see it, but I'm just going to place it. And the handle. Okay, so this is me, and I chair the Violent Crime Prevention Board. We came together as a group of professionals. In fact, I was asked to chair a group of influencers and professionals. We volunteer, by the way, to look at some of the issues that are going on in our community. The gentleman that just spoke created a lot of anxiety. I felt quite anxious, even though I've worked for many years in the criminal justice system. And I also felt quite anxious, even though I work in the community with young people. And I have to say that about 2% of young people are doing that stuff. 98% are doing okay. All right? And it's important to get that balance. So we haven't got a whole bunch of people. The media says that. And so for where the media says that, or for where the gentleman and many others that are working with young people, whatever they're doing, what we're trying to do is to present something different, because you cannot keep looking at dark. You've got to put some light in. And yes, we acknowledge that there are things that maybe within our community we've done, but we can remedy it. Okay, we're sitting here as, well, I'm an older person. I think the only one with grey hair in the room. Whoop, whoop, no, there's another grey over there, yes. Because really, you have no hair, my friend, you don't count. So the idea is this: whoever we are, whatever we have in our hand to use, the same thing that our parents did and our grandparents did is what we have to do. So it's okay to sit here in your dicky bows, and it's okay to look fine in your nice frock, as long as you're going to do something, okay? It's okay. Don't feel bad about that. And you do not have to go out on the road. Some people have the gift to do that, okay? And some don't. Everyone has their thing to do. But remember my broken cup in case you start to feel tired. Can we do the next? Okay, so the Violent Crime Prevention Board was launched it was launched last year, but we actually came together in 2017. And Dr. Neville Lawrence, whom you would know, Stephen Lawrence's father, originally he was the chair of the board. But because it takes, someone to do the donkey work in the operations, I do that. I'm a bit shy, but I've kind of gotten over that so that I can chair the board. So I'm the operational person. Dr. Neville Lawrence also spends a lot of time in the Caribbean, so I do most of the work. So this is my team up there on the right. And in April 2016, we hosted a community event. That was a breakfast event. We had over 250 people in the room. We were quite surprised to have that many at 7:30 in the morning. But the idea was that we wanted to hear what the community has to say, including young people, because what we are doing is working with the community, working with young people, and we're also influencing people in government and in policy. So that's a little bit different to what many of our other boards do, but we're independent, and that's why we do it, so we can say what we like, because no one's actually paying the bills. Thank you. So there's some things missing off there. President, what happened? Okay, so there's a couple of little pictures missing. Tanika, blame Tanika. So we have, so we have different themes that we cover. So it's not just everything just thrown in the pot. We're looking at specific areas. And so youth is one of the main things we look at. Parents and family, as a gentleman spoke earlier about families. And families also need support. The way that our communities have changed over time, it will continue to change. We have to change and adapt with it. Social media wasn't there when I was a young person. In actual fact, if you wanted to make a phone call, I'm sure most of you wouldn't remember this, you had to go in a phone box with a coin and you had to wait. And sometimes people in there like, how much did they have in the thing? Come out, Now everything is instant. And so if something happens in another part of the country, you're going to know about it instantly. And so things have changed. We have to change. So we also work with the police. So on our board, we have serving police. Education is an area that we're going to be really working at very hard this year. And so it's about really preventing the exclusions of young people and also including them within the curriculum. The curriculum does not talk about Windrush. It doesn't talk about things that we achieved. It talks about slavery generally. So we're actually working to change the curriculum so it talks about the things that matter to us so that we're reflected. And also community, and that's community organizations. And there are lots of grassroots organizations that are doing things that won't get a look in, and they also won't get any money. So what we're doing as the Violent Crime Prevention Board is to try and get funding that comes to us. We don't want it, but we want to give it to those initiatives that are taking place in the community. We have support from Guinness Partnerships. We work with the Army to try and get some of the lovely little darlings off into the Army, into the RAF, Royal Navy. We work with MOPAC, that's the Mayor of London for Policing and Crime. We work with different constabularies, churches. Any churches in the house? Open up your buildings, because people are complaining that there are no youth clubs. Open your building and let the young people come in. Don't pray all night and fast and all of that. And when a young person comes up to you, you're terrified because you think they're going to have one of those meat cleavers. Not every one of the young people do. Open up the space, okay? Faith without works is dead, so please stop the praying all night unless you're going to open the door. Yeah, I said it. Tell your pastor. If you're a pastor in here, I'm saying that too. I'm a minister myself. Minister in action, not word. So then there is the third sector. Sorry if I've upset anybody. See Yvette, she was the one that asked me to speak. So there are sporting initiatives. Anything where young people can be involved in doing something positive and reaching their dream is what we do. If you take a knife away from somebody, or one of those lovely little meat cleavers that guy's got his fingerprints all over, we need to put something else in their hand. You can't just take something away and not put something in its place. Young people want to earn money. Young people want to belong. They want to feel loved. Many are suffering trauma. Many of them, if they are excluded from school, they're rejected. How would you feel if you get fired from your job? Anyone? Don't put your hand up. But if you were fired from your job, I'm sure you wouldn't feel good about it, that feeling of rejection. Imagine a young child that's in a school and is with his peers, and all of a sudden he has nothing. He's told he's nothing. You know, we are the ones that have to make a difference and actually let him know that he has hope. Just remember, I've got a cup down there that I had to break the handle off with a hammer. I don't recommend you do that, but it has purpose, you'll see. So we're working to empower youth, but what we have is an ambassadors and champions initiative. So where there are people that have employment opportunities, or they are spokespeople for young people, and they do, sort of, it might be footballers or whatever, we've created opportunities where those individuals are accessible. When we had the event in April, one of the things that young people said is that the folk that they are given to aspire to, like Richard Branson or Idris Elba, who you thought you were going to see tonight, and it's me, they don't know how to get there. So they wanted to be able to take steps to get there. So what we've done is, in fact, it was a 25-year-old member of our board that created this. So we have ambassadors. So they'll film themselves and they'll say something profound, and then young people can actually log in and have a Skype conversation with that individual who will encourage them and give them access to opportunities. And that's what we older people in our dicky bows and our nice clothes can do. That's what we can do. So, yeah, you can click again. Yeah. So darkness is only driven out by light, not more darkness. And that's my friend Martin Luther King. Yeah. So the darkness is the stuff you heard just now. And we cannot change the darkness without putting some light on. And so VCP is about putting a light on and shining a light. Because if you've got a light over there, and we come together, we crowd out the darkness. And that's really, really key and important. So the next slide is really a challenge to you. So can you actively get involved with VCP? What can you do? What would you offer if you were given an opportunity? You know, a group of young people come in and they want to do something. What can you offer? Really think about it. And you're not so far and distant away from them, especially if you are a member of family yourself. You know, these young people are not from Mars, and they're not aliens. They're our children. I mean, I've seen on social media, people say, oh, the school holidays are coming up. Oh, is this a new phenomenon? I'm sorry, I brought my children up and there were school holidays and you had to work things out. What's so different today? You know, we have to take responsibility for our families, and we have to take responsibility, if like me, you're a grandparent, you'll take responsibility for your grandchildren to help. And sometimes there might be other young people, but as an elder or someone of note within your community, as again I said, you don't have to have all the letters of the alphabet behind your name like I did. It really doesn't matter. You just have to be upright and breathing. And if you're upright and breathing, you can do something. So if you have an organization, or you're part of an organization that you are associated with, is there something that you can do? And if you don't know how to do that, just contact us on vcpb.org. If you go onto the website, it's got all sorts of information on there. Thank you, sir. Sorry, I don't recall your name, but that's my age, not because your name is not worth remembering. But information about Windrush, we will put onto the education bit so young people can learn. You know, so if there's something that you know and you think someone ought to know and could help, then that's all you need to do. My next slide is also my friend Martin. And this is it. If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving. So now back to my broken mug. So this mug here, as well as signifying my destructive streak, it started off as something to hold. Shout out, any ideas? What you put in this? Something hot. Tea, it doesn't have to be tea, it's something hot, right? Something hot. And so this is designed to hold something hot, yes? But sometimes in life, things get broken. So you may not use this for a hot drink anymore. Any ideas what you might use it for? So if you wanted to drink from it, would you still put something hot in there? If you would, please don't answer. Because that'd be too embarrassing, yeah? You might put something cold in it. Am I right? For those of you that thought you might still do something hot. Cold, yes? So it's broken. And its original purpose, it is no longer good for. However, it is still good for something. Something cold or... a lovely plant pot. And now you're thinking, what on earth is she on about? Should I go and take off all the handles off my cups? No. What this signifies of those young people, they start off one way, and sometimes they get a little bit broken, and they may not achieve the things that you thought that they ought in your own mind. However, they have purpose. Every single one of those young people have purpose. If you think that kids are running around the street with knives because they have nothing better to do or no one cares, people do care. But it's adults like yourselves, not you, but adults that are at the source of all of this. And so we do have to intervene. And they may not end up the way that they started, but they will end up with purpose. So I would encourage you, please, to be a champion of VCP. I have some pins there, and I've been encouraged by the host, Yvette. I was going to give them away. But if you can put £1 for a pin, and you can wear the pin which signifies that you are doing something. I say we're going to be launching in Bedfordshire, we're going to Leicestershire, we're going to Birmingham, because they've asked us if they can do this. Please go onto the website, vcpb.org. Purchase a pin and support a young person. Any funding that I do get today will go to a young person that has a business idea. It's not going to be a lot of money, but it's going to give him or her some encouragement to know that someone cares and will invest in them. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you.